So, good day everyone, and welcome to the third week or the third module of our subject, Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. I hope you have learned a lot from the two modules that were given to you. Uh, the meaning of philosophy, the fallacies in reasoning, critical thinking, and the second module, which is all about the methods of philosophizing. I know there are difficult concepts in there, but please go over your module so that the concept will be easy for you to understand now. In this particular module, module 3, this is all about the human person as an embodied spirit. Of course, we have known that the human person is the most important subject in philosophy. So it is important that we understand the nature of man, and even the philosophers from the past have write their theories. They have postulated important writings in order for us to understand the real nature of man. By understanding the real nature of man, we will be able to understand our fellow human beings. We will be able to understand our uniqueness and peculiarity as a species now. So, of course, the primary goal of the study of philosophy ang understanding of the nature of the human person. So our learning objectives at the end of the module, you should be able to, number one, recognize how human body imposes limits and possibilities for transcendence. Evaluate own limitations and possibilities for their transcendence. Okay, so we will be discussing again the remember part of your module. As I have said, since human or man is the most important subject in the concept of philosophy, I would like to discuss in here the important terms that are related to the discussion of the human person. So the first one is the word man. So when we say man, it refers to the entire human race. So regardless of your color, the texture of your skin, so tawag sa aton tanan, man. Related terms also include humanity, mankind, and humankind. Another term is human. So when we say human, it refers to man as a species. So we can distinguish our kind from animals by using the word human being. So to what group do we belong? No? We belong to the Homo sapiens or modern human beings. Ang manang scientific name nato, no? The Homo sapiens. So another term is human being. Used to distinguish man from other animals. Ang human being naman yun, no? Ginagamit naton to distinguish us from other animals. Kaya actually human are also animal, no? But we are in the highest order, no, of the we are in the highest order of the species. So para ma-distinguish kita from other animals, ginagamit naton ang term nga human beings. Okay, another term, person. When we say person, it refers to a human being granted recognition of certain rights, protection, responsibilities, and dignity. So as a man who is a member of a society, ang aton nga constitution, ang aton nga country nagagaranti sang aton nga mga rights kinamatarong naton, protection, responsibilities, and dignity. So this is where the word diction plays. How do we use the term depende sa context kag sa situation nga luyag naton i-point out, no? The proper use of word or diction. So muna sa ang application sang mga different terms ang ginagamit naton diri, no? Although nga these are also synonymous with the word man, So again, depende sa diction or context nga aton pagagamitan sa sining mga terms. Personhood, or in Filipino yung pagkatao, this refers to the state of being a person. Okay. Ano ba yung tao? Marupok, no? Pagkatao, umiibig, marupok. Yun yung pagkatao. Anong uri ng tao ka? Ikaw ba ay palaban? Ikaw ba ay mahina? Ikaw ba ay loyal? Yan yung pagiging yun yung pagkatao mo, yung personhood nimo. Okay? Human nature, another term, human nature. This refers to the characteristics that distinguish humans from all other creatures. So human nature. What is the nature of man, of human? We have the ability to speak. We have the ability to express our emotions. That's our human nature. That's what makes us different from other species. So the human person as an embodied spirit. Plato, this one shown here, he is Plato. He was a Greek philosopher. He explained that the nature of the human person is seen in the metaphysical dichotomy. When we say metaphysical, what are the elements that made up a man? No? So, as a branch of philosophy, amo na ang study no ang metaphysics, the existence of man. So, gin-dichotomize or gin-separate ni Plato ang understanding of human person into two. So these are between the body and soul. He believes that the body and soul are separable. So according to him, the soul is imprisoned in the body. In death, the soul is released from the body. So this is a Platonic teaching, no? That human beings, when they die, there is a substance known as the spirit or the soul that came out from the human body. So I'm gonna say, dira nato na trace ang teachings no nga may nagagwa nga spirit sa tawo kung mapatay siya from the teachings of Plato. The body is material, meaning to say it is made up of things that can be distracted. So material siya. While the soul is immaterial, it is immutable or indestructible. So, amo na sa ang dichotomy of the human person according to Plato, the composition of the soul and the body. Another Greek philosopher has a different idea. Okay, so you know who is this one? This Greek philosopher is Aristotle. Okay, according to Aristotle, wala siya nagpati sang dualism or ang pag-dichotomize bala ni Plato sang nature of human person nga separate ang body kag separate ang soul. But according to Aristotle, man is the whole of his body and soul, or that the body and soul are two aspects of the whole man. So he believed that there is no dichotomy between the person's body and soul. No? The body and soul are in a state of state of unity. So hindi siya ako separate nga may body kag may soul, no? Whereas may ara sang state of unity. So masayt naton balang example. For example, a glass of water kag may milk kita, no? So ang glass of water bi ang physical body kag ang milk amo na bi ang soul, no? Hindi sila separate. So kung bubo mo ang milk sa glass of water, naga-dilute siya. So amo na yung pag-understand ni Aristotle nga ang body and soul are in unity. United siya, hindi siya separate. So Aristotle believed that man cannot talk about the soul apart from the body and vice versa. So may blending, no? Blended ang soul kag ang body according to Aristotle. So, how does a human person define as an embodied spirit? embodied spirit, the union of the body and the spirit, no? Okay. Another important philosopher, he was a Christian philosopher who has something to say about the human person as an embodied spirit is Saint Augustine. According to him, man can be divided into body and soul, and no doubt the soul is more real and important. So, being a Christian, from the point of view of Saint Augustine, ang human person ko no is the same man sa understanding ni Plato nga may body and soul. But the more important among the two is the soul. No? Kaya syempre kay Christian scholar ini kag philosopher si Saint Augustine, gintagaan niya sa importance ang the immaterial component of man, which is the soul. So muna no, uh, may mga nanari-sari nga mga understanding of the human person. May duality nga body and soul, may ara sang embodiment ni Aristotle nga may unity ang body and soul, hindi sila different component. So when we say embodiment, as we have mentioned a little while, this is the biological and physical presence of bodies. Again, no, take note, the physical and the biological presence of bodies which enable to do and experience all the things that makes human person. So these are important precondition for subjectivity, emotion, language, ideas, and social interaction. So according to this philosopher, he is Rene Descartes. According to him, the real essence of man is different from his body. No? The real essence of man. So, why do we have feelings, no? Si Rene Descartes nagapati sa mind and body dualism. Separate man ang mind kag ang body, no? So, the dualistic nature of man. This is the content of his thesis, no, or his teaching ni Rene Descartes. So, what does we mean when we say embodiment? For example, human beings felt certain feelings like love. Ang love, gina-associate natin siya sa heart. So, although from the scientific point of view, the real organ in the body that really makes man feel love is our hypothalamus, no? It's a portion of the brain called hypothalamus. It is responsible for the feelings associated with feeling of with being in love. So ang notion bala nga abi naton diri sa heart nato nagaka-felt ang love. Actually, it is felt in our hypothalamus, no, the part of our brain. The body stands as the mediator between the material world and the spiritual world. As an embodied spirit, the world of objects that human persons encounter transcends the physical being. This allows human person to form an intimate relationship with those outside him. So paano ang embodiment basically, paano nagapanghikot ang nature sang man nga may body and soul amo na according sa mga philosophers na gin-mention nato, no? So because of our human embodiment, physical acts are no longer purely physical acts, now because the body conveys something from a person's inner world. So kung sa physical act ang hug, no, kung ginahug, kung wala sang embodiment bala, ang hug is a normal uh, human action lang na sa, but because of embodiment, hug could mean ano, it could mean love, no, away from a friend could mean deep regard for friendship. A kiss from a loved ones create an emotional reaction. So because of this embodiment, may mga feelings and emotions nga nagakabatsagan ang tao, no? Okay. So this unique relationship defines humans and set him apart from other existing beings. This is what makes us different from others, no? Ang embodiment, no? The concept of embodiment. So, balik kita sa statement nga, what does it really mean to become human? Amo na sang embodiment, ang human nagabadsag sang emotion, may mga sadness, may love, affection. So kung ginatagaan ikaw sang gift, you appreciate that gesture. We call it a gesture of thoughtfulness. May aray ta sang envy, may hatred, no? But most importantly, human person felt love, no? The concept of love and many other myriads of emotions nga ginapossess sang human beings. Amo na sang embodiment pag sa tao. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng nature ng tao? So it can be embodied in those concepts that we have talked about. Okay, so although nga may ara kita sang embodied spirit kag nagagaranti ini nga ma-explore naton ang world around us kag maka-feel kita sa sari nga mga emotion, biologically speaking, mahambal naton nga human persons have their limitations. May mga limitations kita. Okay, anong mga examples ang aton nga limitations? Ang mga limitations naton, this pertains to our deficiencies, no? Mga ano pa, kung sa pulong naton nga mga kakulangan. For example, we cannot fly. Can you fly? We cannot breathe underwater. We cannot survive in certain environments like other animals. Iba niya nga mga animals na survive sa extreme cold, extreme heat, no? Kung kita ara sa sina nga mga extreme condition, mapatay kita, no? So limitation naton as a human person. We do not have very powerful eyes, no? We cannot walk very distant places. Okay. So can you think of other limitations sang isa ka human person? So these are only few, no, of the limitations of human beings, mga deficiencies naton. But what did man do? Because we have certain limitations. This again make us superior beings, no, from other species, because although we have some limitations, human beings have the capacity to do things para nga ma-surpass niya ang limit, no? Para nga maka-enjoy kita sang advantages. And in doing so, we are using our intelligence, no? Naga-invent kita sang technologies, machines, and devices for important human activities, no? So, for example, limitation naton, we cannot fly. What did we do? We invented airplanes. Since we cannot breathe underwater, what did we do? We invented scuba, or the self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Oh, matupungan na nato ang mga underwater creatures kay nagagamit kita sang scuba, no? Although we cannot survive certain environments like other animals, we invented suits like thermal suits to survive in extreme temperature, no? So thermal suit, no? Mainitan lawas naton kung nara ita sa pertika tugnaw nga lugar, no? Although we do not have very powerful eyes, so through intelligence and through technology, man invented telescope. Di naman kita maka-walk sa very distant places ko, no? Man invented vehicles. Okay, so what are this? Kay may capacity gali kita nga isurpass ang aton nga limit. Ang human person gali class may ara sa ginatawag nga transcendence. Okay? Transcendence. So kita yun na sa mga contortionist, no? So ang ato nga human body may limit na sa ang flexibility naton. Pero there are persons so can go beyond our normal flexibility. So mga performers na sila kita naton mga contortionists. The concept of transcendence means that we have the ability to surpass limits and is also one important trait that distinguishes the human person from other beings in existence. So masurpass nato ang aton nga limit. Ang concept nga ginagamit naton to describe that is transcendence. So kung ang tawo masurpass niya ang iyang mga limits, no? Just like what you can see in the picture, grabe la flexibility, tawag naton sila mga transcendental na sila. Pero ang next question is, if we have deficiency, does it make us less of a man? Kung may mga physical deficiencies kita, halimbawa, pumpol kita, does it make us less of a man? Okay, so I hope kilala nyo ni si Nick Vujicic. And he was an inspirational speaker and his life has been an inspiration to many of us. Kay although wala siya sang kamot, ang iyang tiil daw ano lang gamay lang nga part ang nagtubo, but he surpassed his limitations and eventually was able to form his family and his life inspired others. Na-surpass niya ang iyang limitations. Our human mind is an important tool that allows us to go beyond many of our physical limits. As persons, we are able to exercise our imagination and reflection to go beyond our own thoughts and experiences. So, bisan physically present gani ikaw sa klase mo, ang iyong mga mind naga-wonder, naga-daydream ikaw. You have your own mansion, you have your own luxurious life, no? Kaya nagago beyond kita sa aton nga limitation through our imagination. May imagine naton nga ra kita sa ibang lugar, naga-travel, feeling mo kung maglanto ka sa Korean movies, duara ka man sa Korea, no? Ayan. So, because of our imagination. We cannot travel through time, but we use our minds to recall the past and even imagine the future. Amo pa hindi man nami sa aton nga human mind, no? Because of our transcendence, pwede naton ma-recall ang mga past memories, especially na-recall naton ang mga happy memories naton, no? So, maka-imagine kita sa mga fire-breathing dragons, winged horses, flying elephants, na amo sinaka-reach ang aton nga human imagination. Okay. Another one is because of our spiritual dimension naman. Ang hambal bala ni Saint Augustine, no? The more important among the dual component of the body and the soul is our spiritual dimension. So, because of this, we aspire for greater things and we have the idea of a divine creator. No? May idea kita sang divine creator because of our spiritual dimension. It must also be understood that as human persons, we have natural tendencies or inclinations. Nagabatsag man kita sa mga bodily functions, no? As we go through life. Kung ginagutom kita, no? It reminds us that our body needs nourishment. Kung nagabatsag kita sang fatigue, it is a reminder that we need rest and recover. Samo na sila yung mga manami nga components sang human person. Kay kung nagabatsag na kita sang fatigue, kag may mga ginabatsag kita sa aton nga lawas, it's a signal for our body to rest and to recover. So, transcendence also means overcoming oneself or being in control even if the body reminds us of certain tendencies. Okay, example, grabe na yung mga hate, nga anger, no? Pero because of our transcendence, ang anger naton, gina-stop naton, gina-channel naton into positive emotions para hindi kita makahimo sa mga actions that may put our lives into danger. Na may mga certain tendencies kita mo, maimon kita, maakig kita, na mga human emotions. Pero as human persons, pwede na naton ma-transcend, no? Although the tendencies are felt, the person can govern them and ensure that they are exercised within the bounds of reason. Amo na gani nga, ang human person is a rational being because we always use our reason, no? Para nga hindi natin maput ang ato nga self into danger. A person who has no control over his or her eating habit eventually becomes unhealthy and develops an eating disorder. But a person who allowed the pleasure of dangerous drugs to rule over him becomes a drug addict. So may mga pitfalls man na ang ato nga human emotions. Either i-feed naton ang negative side or i-feed naton ang positive side. So each individual carries within himself or herself the possibility of transcending his or her limits. Most of our personal limits often involve facing a challenge or obstacle or overcoming a weakness. So magiging transcendent lang kita, no, kung ma-surpass naton or ma-overcome naton ang aton yung mga human weaknesses. All right. So in summary, transcendence is possible for human. Pwede natin ma-surpass ang ato nga human limit. We are able to transcend our limit through our physical and mental abilities. So ang limitations naton physical kag mental. Pero ang aton nga transcendence can either be in the form of physical or mental also. So it will be our drive to become a better person and to improve ourselves every way. Kung masurpass nato ng atong mga limitations, it will help us turn into a better person. Okay, so these are the content now of our module, module 3, the human person as an embodied spirit. So medyo short lang ang yang coverage sini. So I hope that you will read your module and you'll be able to surpass your limitations, no, nga ma-forget ang atong gin discuss, but through the help of your module you will be able to surpass your limitations and you will be able to understand the concept that we have discussed. So that would be all. Thank you for listening.